Let's take you live now to The Hague. We can see the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, who has been holding talks today with President Zelensky of Ukraine, who has been there at the International Criminal Court. Let's listen in.
Stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, as friends, but also as allies. Your presence here today is proof that Belgium and the Netherlands stand shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, as friends, but also as allies. Volodymyr, it has been now 434 days since you spoke a few simple words that resonated all over the world. And I say what you were saying then. We are all here defending our independence, our country, and it will stay this way. That's what you said. And it would be an understatement to say that you've kept your word. The resolve and courage of the brave soldiers and citizens of Ukraine is without precedent in our lifetime. And you yourself have become a symbol of what a country and its people can do when they are fighting for their existence, their freedom and their future. And we all admire you for that. When I had the privilege to address the members of the Rada almost a year ago, I said, we will stay with you every inch of the way. And let me assure you, Volodymyr, that we too are determined to keep our word. Because this is an unjust war against everything we stand for. This is a war against freedom, democracy and the rule of law in our part of the world. That's why we stand with the Ukrainian people and why you can count on our unwavering support. Russia cannot win this war and it must be held accountable for all the crimes of aggression and the injustice it is inflicting on the people of Ukraine day after day in this horrific war. So what better place to meet than here in The Hague, the legal capital of the world. Ever since the downing of flight MH17, we in the Netherlands have known that justice doesn't come automatically. You have to have staying power. The Netherlands will do everything it can to ensure that justice is done for Ukraine, however long it takes, and however difficult it may be. Volodymyr, as you know, your visit to the Netherlands couldn't have come at a more symbolic moment. Every year, on the 4th of May, we remember the Dutch victims of the Second World War and all the soldiers who have given their lives since then for peace and freedom worldwide. Tomorrow, on the 5th of May, Liberation Day, we are fortunate that we can celebrate that we have been a free country since 1945. And so after so many years, it's easy to take peace and freedom for granted. But every day, the brutal Russian aggression against Ukraine reminds us that the rule of law is not a given. It needs protecting when threatened and defending when attacked. So believe me when I say that Ukraine will remain in our hearts and our minds. Not only today and tomorrow, but every day until peace and freedom are restored in your country. This morning you visited the International Criminal Court here in The Hague. Later this afternoon we will visit a location where Dutch military equipment is dispatched to the battlefield in Ukraine. Your visit to the Netherlands sends yet another strong signal that the people of Ukraine and its president will not give in to Russian aggression and that the Netherlands and its allies will continue to support you every inch of the way. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, dear Prime Minister Mark, dear Prime Minister Alexander, dear journalists, dear guests. First of all, I want to thank you for invitation, Mark, to visit the Netherlands on this very special day when the memory of all those whose lives were claimed by wars is commemorated. And my appreciation, big honor for me to be here. This is a special invitation and a special honor. We share the pain of these losses and must put an end to any aggression. And we're meeting here in The Hague to bring peace closer and to restore justice. What we need We need justice, and I'm grateful to you, Mark, again, and to the Kingdom of the Netherlands for your powerful and timely support of our defense. The Patriot and other weapons that the Netherlands provided us have already saved thousands of Ukrainian lives. Thank you. I'm grateful to you, Alexander, and to the Kingdom of Belgium for the solidarity in defense of our common values, which makes Europe a Europe. And thank you for your support of sanctions against Russia and aid packages for our country and people. Today we focused mainly on security issues. The most important thing now is to deliver what was promised to our soldiers as quickly as possible. And I have called on our partners, both the Netherlands and Belgium, to help us implement the agreements on military assistance as quickly as possible. Very important is that we are working to create a coalition of armed vehicles to complement the existing coalition of tanks. And we hope that the Netherlands and Belgium, together with the Nordic countries and all our other partners, will effectively support our initiative to create this coalition of armed vehicles. Besides, it's a time to make positive decisions for Ukraine on modern aircrafts, and there is no rational reason to postpone such decisions to train our pilots and to strengthen the wings for Ukraine, a means to speed up the peace we all wanted. Of course, we discussed today a strengthening of our common euro. We will discuss today very important issue, as our common euro Atlantic security, and it's very important. De facto, Ukraine has already become a part of NATO. We cooperate, we trust each other, and together we truly make Europe stronger. And so it stands to reason that Ukraine should become part of alliance de jure, the sod NATO country. The algorithm of actions in this regard can and should be approved by political decisions at the Vilnius summit of the alliance this summer, and we count on the support of our partners. Later, we will discuss Ukraine-EU relations, and we are waiting for a positive assessment of progress in implementing recommendations of the European Commission, and we do all our best during the war. We do all reforms, what we have to do, and this will be the time when political positive momentum will open the way to a new and long-lasting positive history, both for Ukraine and for the whole Europe. And one more point, I would like to thank you for your support. Our peace formula is 10 very points that can restore not only our territorial integrity and security, but also can reliably guarantee the long-term security of Europe and the world. This is our joint task, to restore the full force of the UN Charter and international law in general. Everything that was violated by Putin and Russia. A peace calls for sanctions to be stronger, for the isolation of Russia to be more complete. Peace calls for assets of terrorist state to be confiscated, and peace calls damages to be repaired and ruins to be rebuilt. And I'm sure we will do it together. Thanks again to you, Mark, and thank you, Alexander. Thank you. So much.
Dear Volodymyr, dear Mark, thank you for an invitation, and an invitation that is symbolic on many levels. First of all, on the ties that we have as countries, ties which in essence are about values, the values of democracy, of respect, of sovereignty. But also symbolic on the timing, Mark. You invite us here on the eve of the Dutch Liberation Day, where we commemorate how our British friends, our American friends, Canadians, and so many others came here to liberate us and to bring peace, as you stated it very well. And I think as a moment of this, it is important to continue to show our solidarity with Ukraine. as we have done, both countries and so many others from day one, even before the invasion. And let me be clear on that, we will continue with the same motivation and the same engagement to continue to show our solidarity with Ukraine. It is now our turn to help Ukraine to get rid, once again, of a cruel and an illegal occupation, kind of occupation that our countries have endured during the Second World War as well. This is why Belgium is in the process of preparing a new package of military aid for Ukraine. And as we know, in these military aid packages, there are often practical obstacles, but I can tell you that there is not a single doubt in any of the Belgian hearts and minds that we need to continue to support Ukraine. That is why last March, Belgium seized approximately 200 million euros of the proceeds from Russian assets that were frozen in Belgium. And we are using those funds exclusively to help the Ukrainian war effort and to support Ukrainian refugees in Belgium. And I'm convinced that we can go further in that domain, not only by seizing the interests, but also looking at the full proceeds of the Russian assets themselves. Since the beginning of the war, Belgian services have seized more than 180 billion of Russian assets of the Russian central bank. We are now examining how we can fully use the proceeds of those Russian assets to support the Ukrainian war effort and to support the reconstruction of Ukraine as well. And Belgium is ready to play a leading role in that, and we will do that together with the European Commission. I've always said, since the beginning of this war, we need to hit Russia in a smart way and in an effective way. Using Russian money to rebuild a country that they are destroying makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense from an economic perspective, but even more so, it makes perfect sense from a moral perspective as well. So, dear Mark, thank you for extending this invitation here today in The Hague. And dear Volodymyr, we cannot repeat it often enough how much we admire your courage, how we admire the courage of your population. And let it be clear again, we will continue to support you with everything we can support. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.